we should start. Okay, before we start, I'll introduce myself a bit. I am HIRA TARIQ, as you all already know. I work at National Incubation Center Karachi as an assistant manager of their startup community. So my core job is to help startups in their growth through designing training programs for them, through connecting them with mentors, with executives from different organizations, and investors. And I also manage the GTG chapter in Karachi. I just started off back in December. So that's that. Today's topic is just about you and your solution. So मैंने चाहूँगी कि मैं session दूँ और फिर आप लोग you guys listen to the session and then go back and you get bored all along the way. So I would want कि हम session को बहुत conversational और बहुत interactive रखें. So please be ready कि मैं आप लोगों में से किसी को भी का नाम लेके I'll call you guys out and we'll talk about your solution and what you're doing, what you're solving. ठीक है और हम लोग so I have a couple of questions in my presentation. These are a few questions जो कि usually जब हम competitions को judge कर रहे होते हैं तो हम usually पूछते हैं, right? And I've customized this according to the Solution Challenge 2022 as well. So these are a few questions that I noticed that the judges ask the participants. Or I think that before presenting or sending your video to the judges and presenting on the demo day, you should think about these questions and these few things that I've mentioned in the presentation. Okay, so to start off with, I'd like to know what is the problem that you're solving, and yeah, just very basic. So if someone could unmute and tell me about their problem and who they're solving, anyone can volunteer. I would want कि हम हर question पे कोई भी volunteer हाथ उठा के and they can unmute and they can talk about their problem and whatever they're solving and whatever the question is around उसके बारे में बात कर सकते हैं. So Alvina, can you tell me a bit about the problem that you're solving?
Okay, so we are building a platform where we are connecting mentors and mentees. So basically, we are going to onboard some industry experts, and then we are going to build this platform where university students can have our one-on-one session with the industry experts and get their guidance on even their projects or career or anything.
Okay, and ठीक है, and how are you planning to onboard the mentors? How are you going to reach out to them?
Okay, initially we have made a list on whom we are going to approach in the start.
Okay.
And after that, it's going to be an open platform, so people can come. They are going to submit their documents, so we are going to verify them manually, and then we are going to have them on board as mentors.
And what about the students?
For students, there is no a proper a process. They can just come in, fill out their form, and they can just register. But when they are going to book a session, so they have to fill up a form telling them what do they expect from the session, so the mentor can be mentally prepared on what it is about, and then they can have the session.
Okay, Elias, so can you volunteer for all of the questions that I had in this whole presentation? ताकि फिर हम लोग जल्दी खत्म कर दें training को.
Sure.
Mind? Okay, cool. Great. Okay, so guys, as you're watching, हम लोगों ने सिर्फ अभी इतनी बात. I'm assuming that call पे there's no one who cannot understand Urdu. If there's someone, please leave a text in the chat box or just unmute yourself and let me know. Sharjeel, is everyone? Are you okay with bilingual? Shirjit, I cannot see the chat box. Can you please let me know if by using also?
Yes, no problem.
Okay, cool. Okay, everyone here understands what you mean. Okay. So Avina, can you tell me a bit about your target audience? So what sort of actually before I ask Avina about this question, I'll tell you a bit about target audience and how deep should you go while you're targeting an audience. So Alvina के अभी इस वक्त दो तरह के audiences हैं. One is mentors and the other is mentee, right? But when you're targeting when you're targeting specific audiences or audience, you should be very mindful how their demographics and psychographics work. So demographics are things that define how they what age the audience are, ठीक है? उनकी age क्या है? उनका प्रोफेशन क्या है, वो पढ़ क्या रही हैं या उन्होंने पढ़ा क्या है, या वो दे आर नॉट एजुकेटेड एट ऑल, वो रहते किस साइट पे हैं, किस जगह पे हैं, किस कंट्री में, किस सिटी में, किस एरिया में. Or these things are called demographics. You can write that down and you can research on it more on Google. And then you further notice how this audience is thinking, right? So, excuse me. Sorry. So you further notice how is this audience is thinking and what they're thinking about. इनकी लाइफ में डे टू डे प्रॉब्लम्स क्या हैं और आप उनको किस तरह से सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, ठीक है? सो फॉर एग्जांपल, when you're targeting an audience, a specific audience, you think about you develop a persona, ठीक है? Persona क्या होता है कि आपने एक कैरेक्टर बनाया and you imagine कि वो किधर रहता है, बिल्कुल अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हाट योर ऑडियंस शुड बी लाइक, ठीक है? सो फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर अलीना ने यहाँ पे सोचा हुआ है कि शी इज टारगेटिंग मेंटर्स एंड मेंटी, शी शुड स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट कि उनके जो मेंटर्स हैं वो किस प्रोफेशन के होंगे, नंबर 1, कितने एक्सपीरियंस्ड होंगे, नंबर 2, does she want male, females, both of them, or any is it gender specific or is it not? वो चाहती हैं दोनों आए या नहीं आए, उनका it's her decision. And then she should start thinking about कि वो कितना टाइम दे सकते हैं, right? So persona बनाने के लिए she designs a character who has a name, like for example उसका नाम फरहान है, and then she starts noting down कि Farhan has experience in software engineering of 15 years. He has expertise ये वाली, उनकी age ये है, और वो उनकी रोजमर्रा की रूटीन क्या है, right? So why we do this is this is important to know when you start marketing your solution, ठीक है? अगर आप किसी ऑडियंस को टारगेट कर रहे हैं, मेंटी हो या मेंटर हो, तो आप उस तक पहुंचेंगे कैसे? It's simple as that. आप कैसे पहुंचेंगे? You go to them by marketing your solution, right? By telling them that you exist, your solution or your application exists. आपने application बना के Play Store पे तो लगा दिया, but how would people know that your application exists, right? So इसकी simple example is Uber or Kareem. So they have an application, but how did the customers got to know about their applications, right? Of course they did traditional marketing, उन्होंने billboards पे marketing की है, they did digital marketing, उन्होंने Facebook पे marketing की है, all sorts of social media पे उन्होंने हर तरह की marketing की है. That is why we as women and men use Kareem and Uber in our daily lives, right? So एक और चीज़ ये है कि so अगर हम करीम और उबर की एग्जांपल पे ही देखें कि उनकी टारगेट ऑडियंस क्या है, so they have different audiences, ठीक है? वो एक ऑडियंस नहीं है उनकी. So for example उनकी एक ऑडियंस है women who are working women but they do not have cars, right? So जब उन्होंने अपनी टारगेट ऑडियंस डिजाइन की होगी, तो they would have thought about a woman who is going to the office every day and unki salary itni hai and she can afford this much amount for her transportation, ठीक है, और उनकी एज ये है और उनका you know उनका रिश्ता कितना है. So all of this is like a lot of brainstorming just to think about your target audience. ताकि whenever whenever you start marketing your app, whenever you're telling people about your app, telling your users about your app, so you know where you want to hit. ठीक है, आपने कहाँ बिलबोर्ड लगाना है, कहाँ नहीं लगाना, फॉर इंस्टेंस, और आपने कहाँ पे ऐड देना है, कहाँ पे नहीं देना. सो अगर आप मेंटर मेंटी की ऐप बना रहे हैं, you don't have to target people who are you don't have to target maybe the rural areas, maybe how would I put it, you don't have to target the people who are completely uneducated, like the people who don't know how to read, right? So वहाँ पे अगर आप ad लगा देंगे तो they wouldn't know कि ad किस चीज़ का है, or they wouldn't know that if they don't know how to use an application जो आपका ad है, it wouldn't really matter to them, right? And so if I ask you who's your target audience, have you built any sort of personas around that? Have you thought about that? Have you brainstormed about it?
Yeah, okay, so हमारे actually platform पे we are going to target a lot of people, but first start हम लोग सिर्फ tech side पे है.
Okay.
So we are going to like to tech, like students होते हैं, university students, अब हम उनके side से करें, like what kind of people, what kind of mentorship do they need, हम उसको point पे कर रहे हैं. Like mentee side से हम उनको कर रहे हैं, onboard कर रहे हैं. So हम कर रहे हैं कि like females को कर रही है, like women in tech के लिए we are going to onboard like female mentors so they are comfortable talking with them.
Okay.
And they also know कि like वो communicate कर सके like what problem do they face and how can they can overcome them. And उसके अलावा mentors में हम एक साइड से like काफी लोग होते हैं ना different domains, so उनको onboard कर रहे हैं ताकि let's say तुम्हें किसी ने अगर web development में जाना है, he doesn't know how to go या he's stuck somewhere or anything, तो वो student जो हम कर सकते हैं, तो different उस साइज हम लेकर आ रहे हैं. बट अभी के लिए हम सिर्फ टेक्स्ट पे है, बट इसके अलावा हम इसको बाद में आगे और भी एक्सपेंड करना चाहते हैं. हम हम इवन इन्वेस्टमेंट, मेडिकल, वो चीजें हैं, बट वो बाद के लिए. स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट
Okay.
या
Okay, you want to add something more to this?
No, nothing.
Okay, so is there someone else who wants to discuss about target audience? Because now abhi hi questions दूंगी और हम लोग अभी ही we can, I can answer questions on the go, and then there's no point in taking questions. If you have any questions around your thinking about target audience, किस तरह से सोचना है, I'm open for questions. Okay, I feel that you don't have any questions. Okay, Alina, do you know about your competition? Who is your competition and in Pakistan or abroad?
Okay, so there's a platform in Pakistan called Hello Mentor.
Okay.
So it's a Facebook group. So what they do is वो एक mentors को लेकर आते हैं, उसकी profile डालते हैं, and that mentor like ask like 2-3 questions, and हर कोई उस question को answer करता है, और उस mentors में 2-3 को select करके उसको mentor बन जाते हैं.
Okay.
Like एक दो को like so that's like one platform, and the other one you can say is like ADP list, but that's for design community only.
Okay.
And then one is Preplay, but that one is for languages. Like they focus more on the language part. Like if you want a mentor to learn any language. So these are like some of the competitors which we search. But last year there was another platform called Guru 911.
Yeah.
So our idea was exactly same as that idea, because like I started working on this idea in like last November.
Yeah.
That's when I started. So but they didn't market that product, like the development part, like it was complete from that side, but they didn't market. I think they had like 3 to 4 posts there and only a few people got to know about that. So yeah, I wanted to work on that, the marketing part as well.
Yeah, I know about Guru 911. I know the founders there. Yeah, they're not working on the idea anymore. You're right. Actually, so why are we thinking about the competition here? Can you tell me that? Can you tell me, Alina, or anyone else? Why do we have to care about the competition?
because we need to know like what are they providing and what are we providing more to know for the customer to come and use our platform, and not like what value are we providing them more.
Exactly. What's your value proposition? That comes down to your to our second question. What is your value proposition? So what extra value are you providing if you're, so for example, at इनका competition है ADP-list. So what is her value proposition? How different is she? And I will suggest that you go out and research a lot more about global competitors, because अगर पाकिस्तान में I'm not sure पाकिस्तान में हैं competitors और या नहीं है, लेकिन अगर I'm sure global competitors ज़रूर हैं. So you should start researching a lot more about your competition and how you are better than them. And researching on competition also helps in the way कि आपको पता चलता है कि आप किधर खड़े हैं, where do you stand and how do you how better can you do, right? So Amina, if I ask you what is your value proposition, can you tell me what extra value are you providing? Yeah.
Because we just want to build a single platform where people from all over all the domains can connect with their mentors.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we like ADP and all those platforms, like they focus on one thing, like one domain. But by time we want to bring all the domains.
No, so I think your direct competition right now is Guru 911, and how are you beating them? Because they're doing the same thing, right? How are you beating them, and how are you better than them? Why would I choose you and not Guru 911?
Okay, so, I did use their platform, but I didn't got to know a lot about the scheduling and things like that. For our platform, we are like the mentors are going to have their availability slots, and you can book them, and also like the payment you can have the payment through that platform. Because like when I explored that platform in last year, so that was not working that much at that time. And even and also one thing which I noticed was the user experience. Like when because I'm a UX designer, so I had a lot of time. Like I didn't enjoy that flow, the experience, the way things were done there. And in our project, we like I think I spent like 4 to 5 months only on the UX experience. Like I used to build two prototype, and then I was working, testing that, and then like when I was getting like a satisfied feedback on one prototype, one module, then I was moving on toward the next module. So that's one thing which I paid a lot of attention in our project.
Okay, awesome. Anyone else who would want to tell me a bit about their product or solution, whatever you're calling it, and what is your competition and how you're better than your competition? Anyone else who would like to volunteer? Okay, Hasnan, would you like to volunteer? Okay, Hasnan Said, are you there? Okay, anyone else who would like to volunteer and talk about their problem, their solution, sorry? Arsalan, would you like to try?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, welcome, Salam. How are you?
I'm good. How's everyone? I hope everyone is good. So basically, I was not in this SolutionFest thing, and because I was busy somewhere else. But I was planning a solution to Mac. If it is related to that, I think this discussion is about Google Solution Channel, right?
Yes.
So I was planning to make a solution, but due to shortage of time and I was busy at some other places, so I couldn't get my team to do work on this, or I didn't also. So I'll try to wind it up in last 9-10 days, but now I've got some time. So basically my idea was to provide, can I share the idea?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my idea was to provide this service similar to Careem and Uber, but for girls by girls. I mean, for
Mm-hmm.
women by women.
Mm-hmm.
So it creates, I think it creates a good environment in a sense that uh, because women do not get to travel safe, and so that's why this platform is needed where they should be traveling, where they feel secure. So first of all, when I think woman books a ride or cab, so her first priority is के I mean वो फिर देखते हैं कि बंदा कैसा है, the person who's riding the car. If it is the person who's riding a car is woman, that is going to be more comforting for them, I guess, or more trust is there, I guess, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's great. And Arslan, can you tell us a bit more about your value proposition and how are you different from your competition? तो जैसे आपने अपना idea बताया, this is a great idea, but your competition is Paxi. Do you know about Paxi?
Yeah, I have done some
Yes.
research about Paxi, but I have seen that it started in 15, 16, and later on
Mm-hmm.
it vanished. It's not operating anymore, I guess.
It's not, yes.
Yeah, and I was studying there. I was studying that why did it happen, and
Mm-hmm.
I also studied few other articles about the similar service in uh, Southeast Asian countries, and there is one more service. I think that's called Pink Ride or Cab. Uh, and it's going pretty well. So I think now is the time it can be implemented, and I think that this idea being brought in 15 or 16 was too early. That's what I think. So yeah.
Okay, great. Let's say Careem या Uber starts their rides for women by women, right? And they start doing this. How would you, and you are running, and let's say you are also running your own solution or, your business. How would you be better than Kareem? How are you providing extra value? Have you thought about that?
That's a difficult one. I assume I would take it as a difficult question because I have not done much of the research about this because,
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned earlier, that I have been really busy. But now I
Yeah.
got my self free different things, and now I can think about it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not something that just pops up in your mind. That how can you be providing more value than the uh, already
Existing
what
solutions, yeah.
yeah, the companies that already exist, the giants. Yeah,
Mhm.
but you have to think about this. Right now, I don't have anything in my mind right.
No worries. Thank you so much for volunteering as well.
Uh,
So I was watching Shark Tank. Do you guys know about Shark Tank?
yes, we know, but I haven't seen.
Okay, okay. And there's also another challenge. I won't name it. I actually forgot its complete name. So it's a competition where students from where students compete from around the world, and they're judged and everything, and इनका पूरा जो show होता है वो live होता है. So उसमें a judges ask a very specific question. Okay, how are you impacting the world? How is your solution creating an impact, right? And whenever you're building from that show, I learned wherever you're building a solution and wherever you're providing a solution to a problem, it's very important that you think about the impact that it's going to create. ठीक है. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि पॉजिटिव इम्पैक्ट हो हमेशा. इसीलिए it's very important that you think about the impact, either it's negative or positive, कि वो क्या create करेगा. So for example, if Kareem has provided rides to, you know, 1 million or 1 billion users, that's their impact. ठीक है. उन्होंने solution सोचा, they implemented it, they made a prototype, they launched the whole thing. They started with 1 user, ठीक है, but now they've impacted, they've onboarded billions of customers, right, and billions of drivers as well. So इसमें जो पूरे इनके जो startup में या business में impact आ जाता है, they have impacted a lot of lives. How? They've made travel easier. ठीक है. People don't use, very few people use taxis. ठीक है. Most people don't use taxis anymore. They've made transportation very, very accessible to women at during the times. Jahan pe, like I remember I was not allowed to travel after 10 p.m. with anyone or in an auto or in a taxi, but now I am, just because my parents and my family trusts Kareem and Uber drivers, right? So they know whenever I'm coming in Kareem, they're okay with that. Okay? So they've made life easier this way as well, and they've also made जो drivers हैं उनकी lives बहुत आसान की है. How they're earning a lot better than they used to before Kareem and Uber came in, right? So उनकी weekly extra income हो जाती है. They also get bonuses. So this is the sort of impact that Kareem and Uber have created. Alina, can you think of the impact that your app might create? Have you thought about it before?
Alina is not there, I guess.
Oh, okay. Okay, but anyone else from any of the teams want to share their impact that they're planning to create with their solutions?
Can I be the volunteer?
Sure, go ahead.
So initially, when I thought about this idea, the initial very beginning of the idea, I was thinking about people. I mean, I had this thing in mind. It might be right or wrong, but we see bus hostesses everywhere, right? On Daiwo and Faisal Movers and every other bus service, we see bus hostesses, and yeah, these are the girls who are out there to earn for their families, right? And what if there was a platform that could allow them to get a car? I mean, they can finance their car from a bank, and they can drive their own car without platform, earning their own money, and that money they can use to give back to the bank, which is financing the car as well, and generating the income for themselves. So it was one of the factors that I decided this was my idea. I don't know it's creating much of the impact or not, but it's something.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing. But this is something that that if you've not think of already, so you should start thinking about the impact that you're creating, and how many lives would your solution change if if you're planning to build a solution. Okay, this is the most interesting question that judges might ask you. And you're also judged on the basis of the number of customers or users who have validated your idea. So whenever you're planning a solution or building a solution, तो आप टेस्ट करते हैं उसको, ठीक है, टेस्ट करते हैं with users, and users are not your team members, but people who are out of your team members or There can be anyone who would use your solution, use your application, and tell you about the bugs in it, the good things about it. So have you does anyone over here जिसने अपनी एप्लीकेशन को वैलिडेट करा हो फ्रॉम यूजर्स या फीडबैक लिया हो अबाउट फ्रॉम यूजर्स? Elena, are you there?
Farhan said yes, but
Okay.
I think
Farhan, can you unmute? Farhan, can you unmute and tell a bit about what you did and how you tested the idea?
Okay, so idea was to solve the blood crisis we face in Pakistan. Like, if someone need blood,
Yeah.
either some of his relatives will donate or like the friends. But there are a lot of people who face like blood shortage or they need bulk amount of bloods. And in the hospitals, when we go, they are always like, we bring some donors. We don't have blood and these kind of things. So we are. So my team is making an app which will give some credits to blood donors who will donate via that application, and there will be some like perks if they donate once a year to twice a year or 4 times a year, because a healthy one can donate like 4 times a year. So if let's suppose there is someone who donate once a year for some friend or like family, so just for the like perks or the different things we offer, he may can like donate 4 times a year. So we are just trying to like uh, normalize that, like donate four
Do
times
you
a
have a specific number of people who tested your idea or your application? A specific number कि मेरी application
around
से
10
7 users ने use किया है, 10 users ने use किया है.
अभी यूज नहीं किया. लाइक मैंने
Okay.
मतलब आइडिया शेयर किया था कि अगर लेट्स सपोज वी मेक समथिंग लाइक दिस, तो आप लोग मतलब क्या
ठीक है.
कंफर्टेबल होगे उस तरह ब्लड डोनेट करने में, क्योंकि ये और दूसरा ये कि लाइक कि मतलब आप लोग मतलब फैमिली और फ्रेंड्स के अलावा भी ब्लड डोनेट करना चाहते हो, इसमें कोई इशू वगैरह तो नहीं आपको? तो इस तरह हमने वैलिडेट किया था कि ये सोल्यूशन वर्क कर भी सकता है हमारी सोसाइटी में या नहीं.
Okay. So ठीक है. So एक चीज होती है, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of it. I feel that you've been trained by great mentors. उन्होंने आपसे प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट की बात जरूर की होगी. Do you know about product market fit, Farhan?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah, okay. So exactly. So whenever you launch an MVP, your minimum viable product one, again, whenever you're launching your MVP one, you are launching it to get to validate your idea basically. Okay. So तरीका यही होता है ना कि you think about an idea, then you make a prototype, and then you make an MVP out of it. Okay, your first product with the minimum features. आप सारी फीचर्स डालने की जरूरत नहीं होती. Just basic work जो आपका basic goal है वो पूरा होगा उस product के through, and then you get it tested with few users, right? So if you tested the idea only with users, I would suggest that you test the application with few users. आप अपने 10 दोस्तों को बुला लें या कोई anyone apart from your team members should use the solution and give you feedback. ठीक है? It is very important to get feedback on your MVP one. This is the core reason of launching an MVP, so that जब आप एक product का first version launch करते हैं, उस पर आप feedback लेते हैं users से, जो आपकी target audience है. ठीक है? आप हर किसी से नहीं ले सकते. Make sure कि जैसे अगर आप for example, अगर आप mentor mentee वाली application बना रहे हैं, तो if someone is actually looking for a mentor, आप उसको अपनी product दें और उससे पूछें कि please use this and tell us the experience about it. Tell us the experience कि आपको कैसा लगा, how can we make it better and everything. That person will give you the feedback. ठीक है? उस तरह से आपने feedback collect करना है from at least 10 people, and then you reiterate your MVP, your minimum viable product. Okay? You reiterate according to your feedback, according to the feedback that you've gotten from users, right? Then that would be your MVP 2. So your version 2, right? So in the best case scenario, you should get feedback from at least 10 users. If not, so at least 5 users से तो ले ही लें feedback, और फिर उसको थोड़ा कोशिश करें कि आप उसको reiterate करें according to the feedback. Because one very important thing in business or while you're running a startup, you should remember that customer or the user is the boss. You are not the boss, because you at the end of the day are not using the app, but your user is, right? So whenever if you remember, जब हमने फेसबुक यूज करना स्टार्ट की थी, ठीक है, उसका इंटरफेस बहुत डिफरेंट था और अब वो बहुत डिफरेंट है, ठीक है. सो जो भी उनका इंटरफेस होता है, it keeps changing. It's because of the user feedback. They keep getting the feedback and they keep making it easier. The interface, the overall experience, very easy to navigate, to upload pictures, to upload status and everything else that we do on Facebook. Okay, Fran? So moving on, you also need to start thinking about what are your next steps and what features do you plan to add in the future. जैसे Alina, I'm not sure if Alina is here or not. Alina did mention कि अभी हम लोग सिर्फ mentors mentee तक हैं और हम लोग अभी सिर्फ tech पे focus कर रहे हैं. So what she will do is that she will focus on tech mentors and tech mentee during this time, 1 साल या whatever that जो भी उनका टाइम पीरियड है. फिर उसके बाद जब वो दूसरा MVP लॉन्च करेंगी, थर्ड और फोर्थ MVP, उसके अंदर वो नए फीचर्स इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगी. सो उस नए फीचर में होगा कि वो हेल्थ पे भी मेंटर्स लेके आएंगी, वो बाकी डोमेन्स पे मेंटर्स लेके आएंगी. सो इस तरह से मेंटीज भी हो different domains के लेके आएंगी. So Farhan, have you thought about any extra features that you want to add in the future?
Yep.
Okay. Can you share them a bit? Share about them a bit?
उसमें यही है कि जैसे अभी अगर आप लेट्स सपोज किसी को अर्जेंट ब्रेड चाहिए, तो उसमें वो कहते हैं कि मुझे, जो डोनर होता है वो अक्सर रिक्वेस्ट करता है कि मुझे पिक एंड ड्रॉप भी दें, ठीक है. तो उसमें हम ये देख रहे थे कि हम किसी तरह उसमें जैसे पार्टनर कर लें उबर या क्रीम के साथ. तो लेट्स सपोज अगर किसी को पिक एंड ड्रॉप भी चाहिए हो डोनर को और अटेंडेंट एक ही हो उसके पास, तो अटेंडेंट को स्पेशली जाके पिक एंड ड्रॉप ना देनी पड़े, बल्कि वो पेशेंट के साथ रहे. तो इस तरह के हमने कुछ फीचर्स ऐड करने का सोचा है इन फ्यूचर.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. That is amazing. Okay, so just to wrap up, these are few things that you need to start thinking about. Usually, whenever you are building solutions, हम solution or application में बहुत focus कर रहे होते हैं, but we forget about the motivation, where we started, why we started. So always think about the motivation where you started from. Farhan, can you tell me a bit of the story that you have, the motivation that you have? Why did you start your solution? और आपने किसी और चीज solution पे काम क्यों नहीं किया, सिर्फ इस पे क्यों किया?
इसकी रीज़न ये थी कि जब मैं CSPRs अपने कंप्लीट कर रहा था ना, कम्युनिटी सर्विस वाले, तब मैंने एक NGO में वॉलंटियर किया था. तो वहाँ पर उन्होंने मतलब ब्लड साइड पे ही रखा था. तो काफ़ी मतलब इश्यूज थे उसमें, लोगों को मतलब ब्लड रिक्वायर्ड होता था और जो डोनर्स हो सकते थे उनको उनका मतलब पाकिस्तान में ही होता है, लोगों को पता ही नहीं होता कि उनका ब्लड ग्रुप भी क्या है, अवेयरनेस ही नहीं है.
ठीक है.
तो इस जोन से होते हैं लेट्स सपोज जिन्हें ब्लड चाहिए, तो उनको ब्लड नहीं मिलता, और जो दे सकते हैं उन्हें पता ही नहीं है कि हम दे सकते हैं. तो उसमें काफ़ी हमें ना प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ती थी डोनर्स को, मतलब एक्सेप्ट जो जिन्हें ब्लड रिक्वायर्ड है उनको ब्लड डोनेशन करने वालों के साथ कनेक्ट करने में. तो फिर वहीं से मैंने सोचा था कि इस तरह का कुछ अगर हो तो ये प्रॉब्लम शायद सॉल्व हो सकती है.
Okay, great. So गाइज हम लोग प्रेजेंटेशन दे देते हैं या वीडियो हम जो बना रहे हैं अभी सॉल्यूशन चैलेंज के लिए. If we start the video with our motivation, या with our story, थोड़ी सी story अगर हम share कर दें in like 10-20 seconds, it will actually change the way the judge or the person who is watching the video, the way they connect with you. Okay, so we need to remember that we're human beings, right? And stories drive us. We love stories, we love telling stories, we love listening to stories, and we're emotionally engrossed in stories. Okay? So whenever presenting anything, just remember this is just a tip. I learned I learned in Women Developers Academy last year when I took up the course. They told us how important stories are, राइट सो जब आप स्टोरी बिल्ड करते हैं और वहाँ से स्टार्ट करते हैं कि यू नो आई मैं यहाँ पे काम कर रहा था, मैंने ये प्रॉब्लम देखा, मैंने देखा लोगों में अवेयरनेस नहीं है, and then you know then I built up a team, then I thought about the idea, built up a team, and then started working on it, and then you know you end like you know I want to see a world where there are no challenges, इस तरह के जो challenges होते हैं blood donation के अंदर, इस तरह से हमें कोई challenge ना हो in Pakistan, and then you know I think of the world जहाँ पे you know सिर्फ आसानियाँ हो and everything like that. So you know how beautiful your video can become if you know start off with a storyline. And there and जब आप वीडियो के अंदर थोड़े बहुत challenges भी डाल देंगे ना, तो it can also you know it can also stand out. ठीक है, so mostly हम आपकी वीडियोस होंगी कि हमारी ऐप ये करी है, आप हमारी ऐप ऐसी है, ये है वो है, and you know they will show the prototype in the video, and they'll also you know शायद अगर उस ऐप में हार्डवेयर है तो you know they also might test it in the video on people. बट अगर आप स्टोरी के आप अपनी वीडियो के अंदर स्टोरी डाल रहे हैं, स्टोरी ऐड कर रहे हैं, तो दिस विल हेल्प यू स्टैंड आउट। दिस आप स्टोरी के अंदर आप मोटिवेशन ऐड कर सकते हैं, द चैलेंजेस दैट यू फेस, यू कैन यू नो टेल देम कि यू नो हम मुझे टीम नहीं मिल रही थी, या challenges can be anything. Farhan, did you face any specific challenges while you were building the solution?
इसमें सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज ये था कि लाइक कोई डेटाबेस ही नहीं है, या कोई मतलब जिस
Yeah, oh my God, yes.
या जो ब्लड डोनेट करते हैं उनकी, और दूसरा लोगों को पता नहीं होता कि उनका ब्लड ग्रुप क्या है, तो लाइक ये
Yeah.
काफ़ी, और ऊपर से उसमें होता है कि मतलब अनडायग्नोज काफ़ी होते हैं, लाइक के चलें उन्हें अगर ये भी पता है ना उनका ब्लड ग्रुप ये है, तो उन्हें कोई ना कोई ऐसी लाइक बीमारी होती है कि वो ब्लड डोनेट नहीं कर सकते, और उन्हें भी इस चीज़ का नहीं पता होता।
Great. So अगर आप फरहान have you made the video जो आपने submit करनी already?
Now we are working on it.
Yeah. So do you think if you add a bit about your motivation, where you started, why you started, and a bit about your challenge, so wouldn't that make your video a bit better?
या वो हमारा यही प्लान है कि लाइक हम लोग उसको
Yeah.
प्रॉपर्ली इसी तरह लेके चलेंगे।
And just to wrap this up, जो आपकी ऐप है उसकी कोई टैगलाइन है? टैगलाइन
अच्छा, टैगलाइन ब्लड फॉर एवरीवन, इस तरह की हम मतलब वो भी अभी फाइनलाइज कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि पहले डेवलपमेंट पे ज़्यादा फोकस था हमारा।
Yeah. So again, I think we as techies, I'm a techie as well. As techies, we do tend to, you know, think only about the application, and हमारा जो human part होता है ना, उसके अंदर कभी-कभी रह जाता है कि किसको यूज करनी है, अगर कोई यूज कर रहा है तो उससे इम्पैक्ट क्या हो रहा है उनकी लाइफ में, you know, or how we getting to that person or that audience that we're targeting for. So I hope this was helpful for everyone. Do add a tagline to your solution. That would really help your solution to stand out. If you have any further questions or any further queries, I'm here for the next 5 minutes. You can send me a message on the chat. And thank you so much for joining.
question.